So welcome and thanks for joining for the BFP committee meeting. We've got the agenda up here on the screen, so we'll go through that. John, did you want to go through the roll call for the three of us?
Yes, sir. Andrew Klein
I'm here.
and Tony Doan is not present. Micah Chappelle.
I'm here, present.
Good. Corey Wilker.
Here.
Welcome. And Robert Hamlin. Robert, show up. I believe so. All right, we do have a quorum present.
All right, thank you. We've also got Andrea Smith. I'm going to go through names, and if you want to say something, introduce yourself, you're welcome to. If not, then you don't have to. But Andrea Smith is here from BIAW. Annette Hayworth.
Annette is our new administrative assistant, and she is attending all meetings.
Oh, okay. Hi, Annette. Andrea's got her hand raised. Is she able to unmute herself?
No, I just waved.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Jed Turman from IAPMO.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining. Ron Perperwitz.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Zachary from Suppression Systems, Inc. Welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. All right, next up, review and approve the agenda. So, whoops. If you want to go back to, well, this is the minutes. The agenda was up. Basically, just tag reports.
So I have a question on that before we approve the agenda.
Yep.
Historian, I know we had some stuff left over from the IRC tag. Does that need to be documented on here, or is the BFP committee going to complete that work with input from tag members?
Both ways work. What John told me this morning, not all TAG members attended. So if we go this way and ask the TAG members for approval, we may not the TAG quorum. So Andrew, what happened was we couldn't complete two chapters 8 and 9.
Okay.
Staff evaluated chapters 8 and 9. We didn't feel that there is something significant there. But if there are enough IRC technical advisory group members, they can formally make their recommendation for the BFP committee. If not, staff is asking the BFP committee for approval of these chapters 8 and 9, although the information is not part of the reports. But again, we will add the information later.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions on the agenda?
Nope. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Micah.
This is Corey, I'll second.
Thank you, Corey. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? And motion passes. So next up are minutes from September 18th. Long time ago. So these are posted as well.
I was not at the meeting, but I have no issues with the minutes, so I will move to approve. That's shown.
Thank you, Micah.
This is Corey, I'll second.
Thank you, Corey. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? And motion passes. So now to the fun part, all the tag reports.
We'll start IRC. Get out of the way.
So am I given this?
Yeah, if, unless you want to pass the torch, just, I guess me, but
It's fine. We went through, this report is going to be the existing amendment report. The tag spent time going through the current Washington state amendments and reviewed those in comparison to pretty much the 2021 IRC language and decided or determined, at least we made recommendations on whether or not we wanted to keep that amendment. And that is noted in the last column of the report. And that's it. There's the report. That's what we're recommending. So if there's any questions, hopefully members of the public have had time to review this through the tag process. And then I believe it was posted to, and staff can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
And I
sir.
don't believe that we had anything outstanding aside from the one item in yellow here, and that was to verify that the energy code tag was addressing certain items. And does staff have the response from the energy code tag on that portion?
No, Mike, I don't have the response yet. I'm still working with Krista on that,
Okay.
but
And
I'll make
that's-
sure it's noted and updated.
Okay, thanks, Ray. And that won't change the report. So once we get some feedback from Energy Code Tag, whether or not those are being addressed, that will be beneficial. But that's the report. Again, our recommendations are in the last column of the report for the existing amendments for the 2021 IRC.
And to clarify the procedure, after the reports are formally approved, we will have more time to go over all existing amendments and the significant changes. So if there are issues or something, errors and stuff, so the reports will be modified and the technical advisory group and the BFP committee will have the chance to go over the modified areas in the report if it's needed.
all right.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Micah. Thank you,
Yep.
Stoyan. So I'll open stuff up to questions and discussion from both members of the public as well as committee members. And again, this is just the existing amendments. We'll get to the significant changes next.
Just for discussion points, I do want to point out that the energy code tag is reviewing certain sections of the IRC. So this is not a complete review of the IRC chapters. And I'm not sure if we pointed out at the beginning, it's chapters 1 through 10, and correct me if I'm wrong, staff, and then several of the appendices.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And I'll ask again if there's any discussion or questions or comments. So if not, Micah, would you like to make the motion for all the work?
Sure, I'd like to make a motion that the BFP committee move this recommendation report forward to the full council.
Thank you.
This is Corey. I'll second that.
Thank you, Corey. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? And motion passes. So next up, IRC significant changes. Micah, I'll give you the floor again.
Thanks, Andrew.
welcome.
We could move on down to chapter 8, where we left off a few items. As Stoyan mentioned, the tag didn't get through all of these, unfortunately, in time. And so there were a few items left over. One of the ones I don't know if we had enough discussion on, we kind of went over time in our last meeting, and the last discussion point was on 802.3, where they have made a modification to require these ridges to be designed with accepted engineering practice, where before there was a prescriptive approach and now it's saying you can't use that. We did not make a formal recommendation, so I'd like to kind of open the floor back up to discuss that item. For me, I would like to see that modification, a amendment to that, because most of the code, if you can meet the code, you don't have to provide an engineer based on some of the allowances in the administrative section. And then in this section, it points you back to getting an engineer specifically for this item. I think that kind of goes outside the scope of what is commonly accepted practices for the IRC. And so that would be my opinion, of course, and hopefully other folks can chime in. Thanks.
Yeah, Ray, are you able to bring, John, are you controlling the screen?
Yes, I am.
Okay, are you able to bring that up?
Let's see if it's a link. That's not a link.
Even if you, okay, even if you press shift or whatever.
Yeah, it's not doing it. Oh, let's try
Okay.
that.
Yeah, you're right.
I can try to find it. Let me see. It'll take me a second to find it here.
Sure. Take your time. We've got 3 hours. We've got 2 hours and 47 minutes to find it.
Let's see. And I'm not finding it. Stoney, you know where I would find it quickly? I'm not seeing it.
You're muted, Stoyan.
2021 IRC, is it? What
Yeah, I'm
we're-
trying-
Okay, 802.3. Okay, I found it.
You want me to let you share?
Yes, please.
Do that. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Do you just have that up or are you just that good?
Okay.
Is there a difference?
Good.
Hey,
Good try. Good try.
don't share your secrets, Stoyan.
Stoyan, I got it as well if you need it. Oh, you got it. Thank you.
802.3, right?
Yes, sir.
See, I couldn't handle the compliment well, 8222, 8223, right here.
So Micah, did you want to talk about what your suggestion is, just to take out the requirement, or, is there another backstop?
I think my recommendation is to maintain the 2018 language. So
Okay.
that would be our amendment, and I don't have that up. Maybe I have that up, but maybe Stoyan's faster.
You're overestimating me a little bit. I had 2021. And again, for
Oh,
clarifying the process, this will need a proposal if we go this way.
So Mike, a question for you. I mean, you'll be enforcing this. It says the ridge shall be designed in accordance with accepted engineering practice. That to me doesn't say that it's got to have, an engineer design for the specific ridge, does it?
I think that's all in how you interpret it, but right now there's not that language in there.
Okay.
It just has the support required. So the engine, design with accepted engineering practices is new language. I do have some concerns that folks will interpret that as you have to get an engineer to do that work. Yes, I understand that lay folks can, design things to accepted engineering practices, but I don't think that would be how it would be interpreted. Or I have concerns that it would have inconsistent interpretation across the state.
Yeah, and we don't want that.
Correct.
Here is the old language without the last sentence. This is 2018.
I'm muted, I'm sorry. And it's not technically an entire last sentence. They just kind of modified it to include that engineered practices language. But it would need an amendment to be changed. It's not just a direct strike through.
Okay. Are you making that that motion?
If I make that motion, will the discussion be opened up to the public or just the BFP?
Oh, yeah, I guess technically it wouldn't. So yeah, but you intend to make that motion.
That would be my intent, but I definitely want to have some additional input if folks want to chime in.
Sounds good.
Thanks. I know there are a tag member or two on, at least one tag member, and then some of the other public members. So,
Okay. So knowing Micah's intent there, we'll discuss this and then we'll get back to, everything in general. But regarding this, is there any discussion from members of the public or the committee? All right. Well, I'd say you're safe to make the motion now.
sorry, I hit something to turn things off. All right, question before we make a motion. Do we want to do that individual by section or do we want to do it by the entire chapter?
Well, I think we'd make a motion for that.
Okay,
Well, I guess we can continue discussing everything together and then we can make a single motion, with that incorporated.
Okay.
Unless it gets complicated, in which case we'll come back with individuals. So, all right, back to the full change report. Any discussion by members of the public or the committee? Okay, I'm not seeing any. So yeah, why don't you make a full motion?
so before I get into that, we didn't have time to go through all of chapter 8. I do want us to discuss the change to R 802.6 for bearing, where they have a change in the requiring a continuous tension tie when your roof pitch is greater than or equal to 3 and 12. And so I'm not sure if that's going to be something that is a significant change. To me, that would be a significant change. It is an added connector. And so that would be a significant change, I believe, that we would like to discuss because it will add cost to construction.
All right, let's do each individually then.
Okay.
So
So with that, I will make a motion for 802.3 that we maintain the 2018 language for that section as a recommendation.
Corey,
Again,
I'll second.
this will
Corey.
need, this will need, an additional proposal. So it won't fit into modification. It changes the regulatory effect, just adding this for clarifying purposes. So we will add this message in the report.
Okay. So with that, will we need to change that the amendment needs to be changed to a yes in that column?
Okay.
Because we are technically amending the 2021, right? Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So the cost decreases, so that would still be a yes. I mean, that's a question.
In the report for cost, we have yes or no if it increases the cost.
Then this would be an N then.
And this will be N. And again, if we can clarify in the comments that if there is a proposal, it will decrease the cost.
Okay. All righty, so we've got a motion on the floor. Everyone understand it? Any further discussion on it? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
I
Is there anyone opposed? And motion passes. So, okay, Micah, go on to 8026.
Thanks. So this one, like I said, it just changes and adds a connector or a required connector. I'm not sure if they want to show the language on the screen from the 2021, but it is a new addition to the bearing. And when it talks about when you have a slope greater than 3 and 12, that you're required to add this continuous tension tie. And I'm not sure. You know, it's been a long time since I actually framed a house, so I'm not sure how, you know, big a deal this is, but again, it does add some type of connector to something that wasn't there before. And hopefully some of the folks on the call can chime in and say, hey, it's not that big a deal. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
I guess I'll just bring up, you know, with some of the tornadoes that have happened recently, do you think it would, I guess a tornado is a tornado, a connector's not going to do anything, but you know, there are going to be some building changes due to that. So
Yeah, I can somewhat agree with that. I think one of the things that kind of ties into is there were also some changes for storm shelter requirements, and we didn't feel, you know, we needed to change that because we just don't get into those high wind situations in the state. And so this is, you know, one of those things like, is it necessary in our state based on the fact that we, you know, if we did have high winds or somebody fell into those high wind areas, yes, certain connectors will be required, but this is putting a requirement that no matter what, if you've got a 3 and 12, you're putting in this continuous tension tie. So I guess to me, it's not necessarily the right place, but I haven't done enough research to identify where the right place is for this. But I do believe it's captured elsewhere in high wind areas.
okay. So you intend to make a motion to not accept that significant change to go back to the 2018 language?
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. So knowing that, is there any discussion? All right, Micah, you're not being as controversial as you like to be.
It's not EV parking. No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Okay, so with that, if for 802.6, I would make the motion that we recommend maintaining the current 2018 language for this section.
All right, thank you.
Corey, I'll second.
Thank you, Corey. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? And motion passes.
Excellent.
Anything else, Micah, that you wanted to go through individually?
Yeah, so speaking of your uplift for wind design, 802.11, I believe there's a significant change there. I'm not opposed to it. But
802 what? 802?
802.11.
11. Okay, let's go there.
And so it does have some exceptions, but I think we should note that this would be a significant change in at least my opinion. So I think it should be noted on the significant changes report.
So what's new? Is it mostly the exceptions that have been
Yes.
added in? Okay.
Yep.
So then it provides more flexibility.
Correct.
I like flexibility in the code,
Me too.
as long as it's safe.
Agreed. Agreed.
All right. Any discussion on that section specifically? All right. And any other individual sections, Micah, you want to call out?
Not in chapter 8. I think the next section gets into the cold form steel framing, and I I don't think there's enough of that done in the state to warrant us, a significant concern about the changes there. I don't believe they're going to affect the state too much. How's that? And I believe it adds some options in there, so I'm not opposed to anything in there.
Okay, anywhere else?
Then we need to move into, did we have any in chapter 9? I apologize, I haven't gotten through all of it. I don't think there was anything. I mean, there's some changes in there.
Quinn had brought up 903.4 roof assemblies.
That's right. Skipped right over that one.
903.4.
Yes, sir.
Well,
I don't see anything new in 903.4.
that's roof drainage.
Right.
Um,
I think
There
that might
is-
have covered right before he left the IRC meeting.
there is something new in 905.1.1, the underlayment. I'm not sure if you can see the 2021 on the screen.
Yes. We can.
Okay. I would be full talking to myself otherwise.
Did we lose Andrew? No, he's there. Okay. Sorry. I didn't see this as I mean, it may be significant, but I think it again adds flexibility to the code because it expands information in the exceptions.
Okay, moving forward. There is a
I think the other one that may affect some parts of the state, of course, I don't think they see much clay tile, would be 905.3. Again, it's adding an exception for space lumber allowances for concrete and clay tiles in seismic design categories A, B, and C. Again, I think that's a good exception. Of course, I don't know how much clay tile we see in the eastern half of the state, but
Not a whole lot.
yeah, that's what I,
Definitely more out here than on the west side.
right.
All right, next.
The other change would be to table 905441. I gotta look to see if that's a whole new table. Oh, I think it is. Yeah, so there's actually quite a few changes in 905. But this one gets into classification of steep slope metal roof shingles. And it gives a table on information there. Again, I think it just is adding some clarification for material requirements and but it may affect some of those folks that do use a lot of metal roofing. And I think that just goes, depends on where you're at. But again, I think it should be a significant change that we note in the report that we, at least in my opinion, would be accepting of.
All right. Just so everyone's clear, feel free to speak up. We're not running things too formally other than motions right now.
Okay.
I'm showing the significant changes book if you can see it on your screen.
Sure.
Okay. So here is the table.
Thanks, Dorian. And like, again, I'm okay with this. I think it's fine. The other one, I think that if you could pull up, and I'm not sure if it's in the significant changes book because I haven't reviewed it in there. 905.16.6 table 905. And that has to do with the classification of photovoltaic shingles. And it just is another new table that adds some information there. And if it, don't know if that's in your significant changes book.
No, it's not there. So 905.
0.16.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. We all have life. Doesn't matter.
My dog doesn't like to live in apartment. That's the issue. Okay, 905. Say again. 905. 16.
16.6. Yeah.
16. Right here.
So again, I think it's just some clarifying information in table format. But I do believe it should be classified as a significant change that identifies information for photovoltaic shingles, which maybe you're not seeing a lot of those yet, but possibly in the coming years we will. So
Yeah, they've been teasing us about those for a long time, but
I know.
No.
And that was the last one for me that I think should be identified on our report from the tag for chapter 9. And I believe that would wrap up any of our review. I don't believe there was anything significant in chapter 10.
No, 10 has only one reference. That's it.
Right.
well, thank you, Micah. So any further discussion, questions or comments? Andrea, you've got your hand up. I think unless you're waving again, I can't tell the difference. in the
No,
way-
I didn't press anything, so that's concerning.
Oh, okay. Okay, any going once, going twice on comments, questions, or issues? All right, well, I think we're safe for a motion.
So back to chapter 9, are the comments we made for those sections going to be reflected on the report before I make that motion?
Well,
You
those were, go ahead, Stoyan or John.
I was saying I wasn't able to keep up with how you guys are going through it as fast as you were, so I will add those to it.
Okay. With that, I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendations forthcoming for chapter 9.
Thank you, Micah.
Yep.
Corey, you want to do the honors of seconding?
Okay, so okay. He's gonna write, well, we just have been discussing, he is gonna put in writing, and that's what will actually come out. So that's my understanding. I'll second that motion.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? And motion passes.
Excellent, thank you. With
Thank
that, I would like to make a further motion that the BFP committee recommend the significant change report that the tag has produced to move forward to the full SBCC. Yeah, there we go.
All right, thank you, Micah. Any discussion? I have to admit, I thought that was the last motion that we had, and you were verifying, that chapter 9 would be beefed up with commentary.
Yeah, no, I just made a motion to accept the information for chapter 9. Instead of doing the individual sections like we did for 8, I just did the whole chapter. And then this motion's for the entire report.
Okay,
And I will second the motion for the entire report to be moved forward to the full council.
all right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And is anyone opposed? Motion passes. So next up, the IBC and IEBC. Why don't we start with the IBC? If you want to, I don't think we had many issues. If you want to scroll down. So
There is one with staff comment in the report. We took care of it. It was a reference section that was kind of weird, but we took care of it, so we will fix it.
alrighty.
So just for clarification, this is the IBC structural.
This is the IBC structural, that's correct.
Thank you.
So here in 2107.2, we had, why the model code refers to section 616, but it's been taken care of.
So any questions or comments on the IBC existing amendment review? All right, if not, I'll make a motion then to move that forward to the full committee.
I'll second that.
Thank
Oh,
you, Micah.
Corey's gonna second it too.
Any further discussion? And all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? And motion passes. So next up, the IBC significant changes report. And once again, this is focused on structural as well. So there was nothing in in the IBC here that was too controversial. There was some discussion wood versus masonry design that came up in discussions. Any comments, questions, or issues? And I'm not seeing any hands, so I'll make a motion to move that forward to the full council.
This is Corey. I'll second.
Thank you, Corey. Any further discussion? And motion passes, or I'm sorry. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, now motion passes. Thank you. IEBC. And give me 1 sec, let me pull up my notes here. All right. Yeah, I'm not seeing any significant notes here. Any questions or comments or discussion on the recommendations for the IEBC significant amendments? If not, I'll make a motion to move that forward to the full council.
A second, this is Corey.
Thank you, Corey. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And is anyone opposed? And motion passes. The next up, significant changes for the IEBC. So some of the changes in here, I believe it has to do with the update to the ICC/ANSI 117.1, the accessibility standard. There was a new requirement here for accessible routes that they be new requirement stating that exterior elements must be at least 36 inches wide.
This is the
John,
one.
did you-
This is the one that I needed to research, and I haven't done it yet. But it's on my to-do list.
is,
What
okay.
we need to track is there is a requirement in Washington for 44 inches for exterior accessible routes. So we need to track when this requirement was adopted in Washington.
Okay. So most likely you will keep it at the 44 since it's more stringent than the 36.
Most likely we'll keep it to 44. The other thing is that there is, and well, it's not a new section, but we have new ANSI standard in the building code, and it changes, from 44. The model code now is 48. So our amendment will be obsolete, will be no longer needed for new construction, and this is why I needed more time to research this.
Okay. Yeah, I know, excuse me. I know that there were significant changes in the last update to 117.1, for motorized wheelchairs because the existing turns and widths just were not big enough. So, other than that, I don't think anything else came up as controversial or that required a lot of discussion. If there are any questions or comments, we can go over those. All right. If not, I'll make the motion to move this forward to the full committee or full council, I'm sorry.
This is Corey. I'll second.
Thank you, Corey. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And anyone opposed? And motion passes. Next up, I believe, is UPC.
The TAG committee met, and the first two meetings, we began the review of the existing amendments to find significant issues and things that we were going to need to address once we get to the proposal stage. So we went through all of the applicable sections of code, and found the items that we needed to see, found items that the model code already has. So our recommendations were by chapter. Similar to the rest, we found some that, we've highlighted to make sure that we address in discussion when we move to the next steps. We did have some questions there with the energy code. There were some references to insulation thicknesses that we weren't sure if they had changed. So we have a good list of items to go through. This is my first run through with the tag. So as I understand it, we're getting all this information together so we have a platform to address all the things moving forward. So it'll streamline everything and hopefully speed up the process so we can complete in time to move forward appropriately. So everybody worked diligently. In the last meeting, we had finished the last chapter of this existing amendment review and prepared the next document for the significant changes. So I believe we have a pretty good list. There weren't too many options. There'll be some language, housekeeping and some other things, but there weren't that many big issues, just things we know we're going to want to address moving forward. So did anybody have any specific questions on any given chapter or question on our process? Nobody does. I'd like to put forth a motion that the BFP committee move this forward to the council for their review.
Thank you, Corey.
I'll second.
Thank you, Micah. Any further discussion? All right, everyone in favor, please say aye.
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 And is anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Corey. You want to go on to the significant changes?
Certainly. So we did find a few items. We had some pretty lengthy discussion and some rather fast typing on Ray's behalf as we were jumping. Some of the issues are because of different amendments that will be kept, will affect things that we'll need to address. And so, again, we have a lot of basic, I think some housekeeping on the language will clarify a lot of the issues that we found, but we did have a really good discussion, took most of the time. And again, this layer will help us move forward so that we can speed up the process when we start looking at proposals that'll come in after we finish this part of the review. And I think the forecast was sometime in the next 60 days. So again, this is the ground floor that'll help us move forward. And I think the report was done well by the committee. So are there any questions on the significant changes report? Not hearing any, I would make a motion that we move this forward to the full council for their review.
Thank you, Corey.
I'll second.
Thank you, Micah. Any further discussion? And all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? And motion passes. I believe next up is other business. Stoyan, Ray, John, any other business from staff?
I don't.
So Stoyan, I just looked up your barrier-free accessibility standards from 1985 and your accessible route of travel width was 32 inches.
Well, that doesn't correlate with 44.
Nope. Anyway.
Yeah, the main reason I was having a hard time to track it. The rationale was unclear, so I need more time on that. But
yeah, no problem. I can send this over if you need it to.
I like to dig into accessibility issues, so
Just trying to help out.
I will spend the time needed. Okay, I'm adding another coffee, Micah, to the list. I owe you list.
Oh no, you don't owe me anything. Thanks, Tony.
All right, so this is open to members of the public as well. If there's any other business you'd like to raise. All right, so Stoyan, unless you've got anything else to say, I guess I'll do the wrap up.
For the members of the public, again, this is an open process. The reports will be posted on the website. You know, if you see something that you disagree with, you feel there is an error or something, let us know. Regardless of what the report says, if you feel that you need to submit a proposal, even though the report says no proposal needed, feel free to submit a proposal. So the report is kind of formality that we need to post on the website and let the public know that the technical advisory group did some work. So this is a recommendation by the technical advisory group. But again, if you feel after further research or you just wake up and you feel different, you just submit proposals, call us, email us, and we'll handle it.
Thank you. So with that, any further questions or comments? All right, well, as always, thank you everyone for joining in the sausage making process of creating state code. So with that, we'll adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.